I don't know how many people live in Brown County, but there's 2 people live in Brown County. So I guess that's a good question, that as we develop this program, and if there's vacancies and someone wants to come from outside the county, I don't see why not. We'll have to figure that out, assuming we get some play in the bill. So I like the idea. I got to tell you, given the unemployment rate in the state of Ohio, though, I don't know there's going to be too many vacancies. I think that in rural Ohio, especially, there's high unemployment rates. You know, some of the small rural towns, there's a lot of people suffering, just like Cleveland and Akron.
All right. Okay. We thank you for the questions. And, you know, there's one question that we had answered about, you know, what can we do? Why should we even be introducing a bill like this and can't get it passed or can't get it moving through the legislature? Well, as I said and as it was stated by Bobby, you know, we got to do something. That's right. We got to stand up for what is going on in this country. We've been getting ripped off for too long. That's right. Over 30 years, they have been driving down our wages, rising costs and inflation, gasoline gone through the roof, groceries gone through the roof.
Too much Wall Street.
Wall Street getting paid like they just doing all the work and we just done. We know that's not the fact.
That's right.
We need to protest. We need to vote. We need to come to meetings. We need to talk to one another. We need to communicate. We need to make phone calls to our legislators, our council people, and I thank you for being here. One of our councilmen here for Russell. Russ Neal, I'm sorry, I know the man well. You know, I'm so hyped up, I can't remember names. I appreciate Michael Williams being here, who must have to leave. Our community's leaders need to hear from us. You know, local government means more to our day-to-day lives than those guys in D.C. Yeah. These are the individuals that stand up and speak for us. That man is the individual that stands up and speak for us. They need to hear from us. And if they ain't listening, they need to hear from our votes. That's right. They need to see us at those council meetings. We need to be able to speak at those council meetings. Yeah. We need to be able to walk on the street with signs and say, hey, this ain't right. This ain't right. This unemployment is not right. What I'm standing and asking you individuals in this room today is to stay involved, vote, come to meetings, make phone calls, ask questions. My office is here. So is John Wagner. His office is here. His is in Cleveland. These community leaders that are here today, as well as yourself, is what's going to make a difference. But if you sit on your butts and don't do nothing, this is what we get. High, blankety blank, unemployment.
We're going to close this meeting out. But we have Russell. He's here, Ward 4 Councilman. We also have another candidate here running for one of our top offices here in the city of Akron, and that's Janice Davis.
We have a few announcements that's going to be made. We have a candidate here for the school board who has a petition he would like to pass around. We'll give you a minute to say a couple things and pass your petition around so maybe you can get on the ballot.
Yeah. It turns out to be really hard to get on the school board ballot. It takes 300 signatures. To run for mayor, you only need 50. So I'm here to ask every single one of you to sign this petition so I can run for school board. Now, one of the unemployment crises that they haven't talked about yet is the Akron Public Schools, because the state of Ohio has basically cut off all their funding, and they're going to have a big crisis. They have to put a levy on the ballot, and if that levy doesn't pass, you're talking massive layoffs in the Akron Public Schools, and you're going to have higher unemployment than ever. So they need somebody on the school board who is going to do their best to stop this crisis. So I'd like every single one of you to sign this petition so I can get on the ballot to run for school. Thank
you. There was another petition. Did he take this? Okay. All right.
You know about it?
All right, then. Okay, we have one other announcement from Mike Foley, and then we're going to do a prayer and close this out. Okay.
So, you know, SB 5 is going to be on the ballot in November, right? Everyone knows that's going to be called issue 2. But one of the things the Republicans did, a couple of things they did, was try to diminish or minimize people's votes, right? So they've made it harder for folks to vote, especially in this coming November's election. They're shortening the time frame for absentee ballots. They're not letting boards send out absentee ballot applications. A whole bunch of issues. So there's going to be a referendum and petition gathering just on House Bill 194, which is a voter suppression bill. And the petition should be coming out in the next week or so. I know that I think there's going to be some, organization. Jennifer Bruner's working on this, our old Secretary of State, and there's going to be some, in each county is going to be some folks working on this. If you can pay attention to that when these petitions come out and sign them, and help get other people to sign them, it's going to be really important for the SB 5 fight. It's also going to be very important for the 2012 elections, for when President Obama's on the ballot in 2012. If we get enough signatures and get these signatures done by September 28th, then this bill will stall or it will be stayed, won't be enacted until it's put on the ballot in November of 2012. So the provisions of that ballot will go away.
How many signatures?
They need same as SB 5. So
330,000.
231,000.
102? Is that 102? No.
194. It's a voter suppression bill. The voter ID bill and other things rolled into one.
I'm interested in these petitions. Where will they be and how will we get them?
Well, the Secretary of State has to approve the initial 1,000. I guess he's either done that or is doing that, and they have to approve the ballot language, but the language on the petition now. And so what I understand, the petitions will be out and be done by next week. I'm not sure how they're going to distribute them yet. Okay.
We're going to close this meeting now. Usually, it happens, I guess, because we pray together, we stay together. We're going to have Mrs. Bobby Central close this meeting now with the prayer.
Okay, but prior to that, Greg, who is also on the planning committee to get all of this stuff going, he had some announcements that he wanted to make, so.
Well, just very briefly, we want to make sure that we keep this energy and this momentum going, and a couple of ways to do that are, number one, you will have noticed that we have videotaped this proceeding. Those of you who have signed in, we will make sure that if you have an email address, we're going to get this online, this whole event. So we will send this to you by email. Please forward it to all of your contacts. Let them know that this event took place. Let them know that this issue is out there and that the only way we're going to build the necessary movement to get this going is to spread the word. Second, you may have picked up this sheet. It lists Summit County area state representatives and senators. They haven't all seen the light, as Brother Milkovich has done. Therefore, we need to make sure they feel the heat.
That's right.
And we'll try to do that gently, but maybe with a little assertiveness, depending upon the person in question. I've spoken with a few folks in this room about, between now and the next month or two, trying to put together a couple of events. Mario back there has developed some interest in doing that, so we may work together, and if we come up with a couple of actions, who knows, wherever these state reps or senators may be, whether it's at a community function, at their home, who knows, we want to make sure they know about this and that they come on board. So we will let you know, and please, if you get those notices, please spread the word about it and try to show up to the extent that you can. Thank you.
Okay.
Someone wants to say something.
Oh, I don't want to interfere with the prayer, but is it not true that the National Action Network is have a protest in Washington August 27th, as well as for jobs and other things that we participate? Have you heard anything about that?
Yes, I am actually the president of the Akron chapter of National Action Network, and prior to the prayer, I was going to make that announcement. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. It doesn't seem so shameless now. But we have chartered a bus, and we will be leaving